Welcome to the perfect date, right? The perfect date. Not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket. And gratuitously, I will say it is Tina Thompson's birthday. Okay, so awesome. And let's jump on to myvectordemo.com and let's jump into phoning. So yesterday, I gave you keys to the phone. If you could go back to your notes on phoning. And what were some of the keys I gave yesterday, right? Keys I gave yesterday is one, getting rid of the whole idea of being negatively attached to the idea of phoning. It is delayed gratification, right? Phone time is a means to an end. Don't be negative in your thought process about making phone calls. Because one, if you only make 2, 3, 4 phone calls every couple of days, you're going to have a negative, mentality about phone time because I haven't set a demo in 3 days. I haven't set a demo in 6 days. I suck at the phone. I don't want to make phone calls. I think I'll quit. It's just like going to the gym. You go to the gym once every couple of months or once every couple of weeks, you're going to be sore every single time you get to go to the gym. So what's your thought process surrounding going to the gym? I'm always sore. I hate going to the gym. I'm going to do what's comfortable. And remember, if you just do what's comfortable in your life, you die of bed sores. You literally die of bed sores. Why? Because I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go to the gym. So I'm just going to lay in bed because it's more comfortable here. And you literally never get out of bed, never change your sheets, and you die of, infections from bed sores because it's comfortable to just lay in bed, isn't it? So would you rather die of bed sores or have a vibrant, energetic life with endorphins and dope and all the good things, right? So, you got to think of going to the gym as a means to being healthy, living a long life. Same thing with, phone time. It's a means to an end. You write your own paycheck. And you got to think, man, because I make phone calls, I will have demos. Because I have demos, I will have sales. Because sales, I get pay raises. Because I get pay raises, I get big paychecks. And because I get big paychecks, I can save money, invest money, have no debt, out of school, debt free. I can support myself. And it's a means to an end. It's a means to making 6-figure income in a year. There's not a single or married rep on the planet of Cutco that's ever made it to 6-figure per year, ever not making phone calls. And you know what? It's a means to an end of amazingly happy customers. Amazingly happy customers. Everybody's happy when they buy more Cutco. So you got to get unattached to the negative thoughts you have surrounding the phone. One of the ways to do that, in my opinion, is to do more phoning. Literally, just make more phone calls. Right? If you make more phone calls instead of 2 or 3 phone calls every couple of days because you're on Champs Club early enough to make a couple of phone calls and Jesse guilts you into making phone calls, or I guilt you into making phone calls, again, that's only going to give you negative emotions. If you're like, I am going to help happy people become, customers become happy by owning sets of Cutco for the rest of their life. It's a means to an end. It's the delayed gratification that always gets me where I want to go in life. That's why I go to college for 4, 5, 10 years. That's why, law school, grad school and master's degrees and things like that. It's why I go to the gym. It's because why I don't deal with my kid today because I just want to deal with my kid today. I want to raise a healthy adult. So I work with him on going poopy on the potty. I work with him on not speaking back to his mom and dad. I work with him or her to do their homework because today it's a pain, but hopefully I raise a good kid that, becomes a responsible adult later. So the little things that, are painful today become worthwhile later. It's the same thing with the little things like phone calls that are not my favorite today, that become what makes me successful later. So is everyone like down to clown with that, right? Okay, so we understand that. The next thing that anybody else want to share? I'd love to bring a couple of voices in with your notes on yesterday's phone workshop, because today I promised I would get to some role playing. I'm going to go off on you. I'm going to do a little role playing. So what do you have in your notes before we start role playing? Because I don't want to just start role playing. I want to see what else you guys have in your notes from yesterday's workshop on phoning. Yes, sir, Harrison. You got to unmute, but yeah, what do you got for me?
No, I was just looking
okay.
So that you'd know that's what I was doing.
Oh, that's fine. All right. Hey, we talked about the 4 parts of the phone call. Did I say that right? The 4 parts of the phone call? Okay. Every once in a while, it sometimes comes out the poor farts. You know what I mean? If you say 4 parts wrong, you say poor farts. And, the 4 parts of the forever guarantee, And you can say it wrong every time now, okay? Because I just put that in your head. Okay, so what are the 4 parts of an effective phone call, right? The one that most reps forget when they're new, because that's one, it's easy when you call your aunt and your mom, where you don't even bother to catch up. You don't even bother to build rapport. And that's a bad habit. And when you start calling people that you're not as familiar with, you need to spend 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm going to talk about awkward rapport for just a minute, right? Awkward rapport. I don't mean you're trying to be awkward, right? Like asking someone their social security number or something weird like that, right? What I mean is you want to build rapport. Here's a quick little, like, I love doing this on a demo and I love doing this on a phone call. I love to build rapport until the point comes up where they're literally like, so are we going to get the demo started here? Like, build rapport until accidentally you're building too much rapport. And they're like, so Phil, are you just calling to do this demo and talk to me? Or are we going to actually talk about knives? Like, if the customer is the one that starts the demo, that demo is going to go really well. And the same thing with the phone call. If you're talking about their kids, their dog, their friend referred them to you and how they know each other, and that she's the scoutmaster, she's in charge of activity days, she's in charge of the soccer team and whatever. If you're talking so much and how they know Susie who referred them, and you're connecting that way, well, then you're going to have a customer be like, so the moment where you start the phone call, you guys ready to end the step 1? The moment you should start the phone call, Jenny, is when they say to you something like, so what are you calling for, Jenny? Not in a rude way, but they're like, to what do I owe the pleasure of your phone call, Tina? You know what I mean? Like, when they're asking you, hey, are you calling me for a reason or just to chat? And if you can get the customer to be the one that says, hey, are you calling me for a reason? Not without saying that, but like, if they're curious as to why you're calling, your results are going to be fantastic. Okay. So that's why I like the customer to be the one that starts the actual second part of the phone call. So the second part of the phone call is always the AFTA, which is really the phone approach. It's the 6 dots. It's how you doing today? Hey, the reason why I'm calling is I just got a new job showing Cutco. As part of my training, required to put in some initial appointments, right? You don't have to buy anything because I actually get paid just to show it. And I can do presentations over the phone, on Zoom, or right there with you in your kitchen. You just need to be in front of a laptop or computer at home, because that's still the case. Even if you do an in-home appointment, they need to be in front of a laptop or computer so they can be on the right website, right? And I wanted to do 14 appointments by Monday, 12 appointments by Saturday, 3 appointments by tomorrow. But there's always, write this down, a goal and a deadline. So under the AFTA, there's always a goal with a deadline. If you don't know what your goal is by the deadline, that's because you have not planned out your week. And you're like, whenever is good for you, whenever is good for you. Guys, that's being a simp. And you don't want to be a simp. I'm just open. Whenever you want to go on a date with me, I'm here for you. Guys, nobody will date you if that's who you are. If you're like, hey, I'm open whenever, I don't have any other life going on, so just whenever you're ready, I'm here for you. Dude, girl, I'm telling you, it's not the way to be dating, okay? So it's the same thing with customers. If you're like, I'm open anytime the next 5 years, you just let me know and I'll be there. Guys, not only will they not book a demo, but if they do, they will ditch you because a good episode of The Mandalorian comes on, which they could hit pause on and do your demo and then watch Mandalorian after. Do you guys understand? They will literally get a better offer because they're in the mood to watch Mandalorian. Okay. And it's a good show. But the point is, they could pause that and do your demo. But if you're just there for whenever, you're going to get bad results. So you can never be whenever it was good for you. It's always got to be a goal with a deadline. This many demos by this day to hit my goal for my scholarship. This many demos by tomorrow for me to win President's Club. This week to stay on track for my semester goal is to do this. And you have to say this many demos by this day. And then it's always, 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 always part of the AFTA is to offer 2 choices and 2 choices only. Never an infinite number of choices. Guys, Cheesecake Factory is the worst restaurant on the planet. I don't care what you say. I'll fight you on this because there's every genre of food and there's 42 options. It's literally 200 options. And you never know what you have to order. I'd rather go to a restaurant that's 5 options and I will pick one and the waiter will tell me which one to pick. Like, that's the way I want to go to a restaurant. When there's 42 options, none of them are very good. They're just butter, butter, and butter. And so, yeah, it tastes good, but it's not even good food. There's just a lot of butter, so you like it. And you feel like dirt after you eat it. Is everyone with me on that? So that's what I'm saying. Cheesecake Factory has too many options, so I never go there. And if you're like, whenever is good for you, I got 42 options in my calendar, whenever is good, again, they will say, call me next week every time. It's got to be at, would 2:30 tomorrow or would 4 o'clock be better? Would 6 o'clock
Only
Tuesday?
bring in the
Only offer the 2 times that you have next, and then have 17 options in your schedule, but you should only give 2. And when those 2 don't work, then the next 2 are what you'll ask for when you offer 2 more times. And then write this down. Well, I'll talk about that on the next part of the phone call when you handle objections, right? So I'm starting to get into that. So the third part of every phone call, what was part 1? Awkward rapport in a good way, right? In a comfortable way where they're the one that's like, hey, what can I do for you, Kayla? To what do I owe the pleasure of this phone call, Dallin? What can I do for you, Thomas, right? And then step 2 is the AFTA, asking for the appointment. And then step 3 is not firming up. Step 3 is handling the questions. And the one you get the most, everybody knows, it's the I'm busy. And that's the same as call me next week, call me tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Remember, we said this yesterday, callbacks suck. It's never going to get you good results. Callbacks are always like, oh man, oh, it's Tina again. It's that 333 number. Oh, and I've got so much stuff going on. I feel so bad as a human because I haven't spent my day figuring out, since the last time Tina called me, I haven't spent my day booking and finding the right time to do a Cutco demo with Tina, even though it's her birthday. There's no way that the customer's thinking like that. She's going to be like, oh, I feel so bad. So because I feel bad, I'm going to ditch. I'm not going to ditch. I'm going to not answer this phone call because I feel bad for me and I don't want to make Tina feel bad. So every time you call back a callback, they literally screen your call because they feel bad that they have a life. Guys, they have too much going on to think, how am I going to do a demo with Tina in between the first and the second time Tina calls her? That's just a horrible thing. Callbacks suck, so don't do callbacks. How do you avoid doing callbacks, Phil? They tell me to call them Tuesday. Well, there's a number of ways to do it. The one thing you can say, and here's the way I want you to mentally think about this. You guys ready? If you want to write it down, you can. But just because Susie is busy, just because this customer is busy, does not change my personal goal. Let me make sure you understand, and I'm going to say it again. Just because Susie is busy, that does not change my personal goal of 12 appointments by Thursday. And because my goal has not changed just because one customer is busy, and neither of those 2 times work for her, I am going to simply come back to her and say, hey, I totally get it. No problem at all. I'm really busy too, trying to earn my scholarship. I'm really busy trying to hit my goal for this week, Bucky says. And I really still need to do 12 appointments by Thursday. And I can make sure to keep it short. So are those times, is that a bad day or are those just bad times? Well, Bucky, we got a lot going on. Guys, the only people you want to book demos with are people that have a lot going on. Busy people want to save time, money, and energy. Busy people have 1 kid, 2 kid, 3 kid, red kid, blue kid. They've got so many kids. They got so many soccer teams, so many piano lessons. The only people you want to show are, if they're not busy, they don't have a job. If they're not busy, they're a college kid playing video games too much, right? Of course, they're not a good customer. Busy people are the only people you should be calling. So when they say I'm busy 8 times out of 10, whatever, you really say, hey, no problem at all. I'm really busy too, trying to hit my scholarship, but I need to do 14 appointments by Saturday and I can make sure to keep it short. So is that a bad day or bad times? They say bad times, whatever. And you say, okay, well, no problem. How about Friday at 2:30, or would 4 o'clock be better? So you offer, here's the thing you want to write down when it comes to handling objections. Everyone write this down. Show me your note takers. Everybody show me your note takers. Okay. Note takers, pens, papers, fingers, whatever. I want you to write down 2 times, 3 times. So write 2 TIMES and then 3X. So 2 times, 3X. 2 times, 3 times. So you offer 2 times. She says those times don't work. You offer 2 more times. And then she's like, oh, those times don't work. You say, tell you what, I'm really busy and I'm really just trying to hit my goal by Thursday. So could we squeeze it in this time or this time? And by the time you've offered 2 times 3x, 3 times, that's 6 times. I'm going to bet you like $100. And I'm going to tell you, I might lose once, but 9 times out of 10, one of the 6 will work. If one of those 6 doesn't work, no, you never offer 6 times. Please hear that again. You never, Robert, ever offer 6 times, because that's the equivalent of 0 times, and it's too many options. You're a simp, and they're going to say, call me back, right? But when you offer 2 times, 3 times, what happens is now the customer goes, oh, you know what? That one, we can squeeze it in. I can tell you really want to hit your dang goal. They get the message subconsciously that you're really serious about hitting your goal. I'll get you, Harrison, right? Tap me in the chat, Harrison, too. Okay. So by the time you get to 2 times, 3 times, one of those 6 will work because they get the message. What did I say to you a minute ago? That just because you're busy, Susie, doesn't mean my goal has changed. Just because you have a lot going on doesn't mean my goal has changed. I'm actually really serious about my goal. People follow people who are serious politically, religiously, medically. If they're serious in sports, in athletics, in anything, they will follow a serious leader. How many of you guys have ever followed a serious leader in anything? Right? So they will follow you if you're serious about your goal. Okay. So that's what you want to do. And most times, like I said, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a demo out of one of those 6 times that you offer 2 times and then 2 times and then 2 times. But the worst case scenario is they say, call me next Tuesday, call me Monday, call me whatever, right? How many guys could agree? And you could see that happening once in a while. Okay. I love that because they say, call me Tuesday. You guys ready for the end all be all when this one comes up? I just say, hey, if you're going to be good on Tuesday for me to call you, why don't we just do the demo Tuesday at this time or this time? If you want me to call you Sunday or Tuesday or whatever, how about if I just set up a time with you to do the demo? I promise I won't bite. I promise I'll be, easy in and out before you know it, whatever. It'll be quick, easy, no big deal. Now, everyone write down the 4 key words. 4 key words. 4 key concepts of the way you want to sound when you're on the phone. This is what the demo should sound like. So you guys know that there's words and then there's the music behind the words. You guys know that 7% of our communication is your words and 38% is your tone of voice, 55% is your body language. Well, when you're on the phone, you ain't got no body language. Now you can hear a smile. There's a little bit of body language, but pretty much 55% of your communication is gone. Now, if there's 55% of your communication that's gone out of the picture, literally out of the picture, what fills the void? 7% words or 38% music? It's 38%, tone of voice, right? Quality of voice. So here's what the phone approach or the demo setting should sound like. 4 key words, 4 key concepts. Ready? Easy, quick, fun, no big deal. Write it down. Easy, quick, fun, no big deal. That's what your phone approach should sound like every phone call. Even if you have to handle 4 objections. I've already seen Cutco. What is Cutco? I already own Cutco. I'm really busy. If they ask you all those questions, great. By the way, look at my scroll. We did this yesterday. We did this yesterday. We did this yesterday. After the hints on getting more names, you have more answers to, I already have Cutco. I'm really busy. Call me tomorrow. Call me next week. Can you just say you did the demo? I hate that one. Don't ever let someone make you lie to your customer or lie to your manager, right? How long does it take? I'm not going to buy anything. I love that one the most. That means they've been tempted. If I've seen the demo 100 times or I'm not going to buy anything, those people know themselves. They know they want to buy. My best demos, some of my biggest sales were when they've seen Cutco, they were tempted 3, 4, 5 times by other reps. And I just stopped being a wimp. I never tried not to be a wimp ever. But if 4 reps didn't get that customer to buy, that's because 3 out of 4 were wimps. They didn't drop down. They skipped options and they were less enthusiastic thinking, oh, they've already seen the demo. Oh, they've already seen the demo. Oh, they've already seen the demo. There's no way they'll buy from me because those other 3 reps had to be better than me because I'm me. Do you guys see how wimpy of a thought process that is? You got to be a total wimp. You don't want to think that way. And I'm teaching this because everybody's new here. If you sold less than 500 grand, you're still new. So I'm going to tell you right now, when they say they've seen it 100 times, I say, you know what, Miss Jones, I'm not going to waste your time with doing a demo. I'm going to tell you why you should buy some dang Cutco. That's what I would say. And I would say that out loud to a customer. Miss Jones, I'm not going to waste your time doing a demo. I don't want that pain and you don't want that pain. I'm going to tell you why you should probably just buy it because it's worth it. And they're like, yeah, someone ought to told me that 4 other times. I spent 4 times the time amount needed to buy some Cutco. I've seen 4 demos. Why didn't I just do it the first time? Do you guys get like the mentality about that? I don't care if you say it that way or not, right? And I handle these objections the exact same way. But remember, how do I make it sound like easy, quick, fun, no big deal? Like we said, yeah, squeeze me in. Squeeze me in. Could you squeeze me in? How about squeeze me in? I'm in a huge contest. Create some dang urgency, right? I'd like to go on a date with you on Friday night next year, not next month. I want to go on a date with you this weekend, right? That's how you ask for dates, by the way. Okay. So, hey, there's something going on this weekend. It's a game. There's only tickets to it this weekend, right? So when you have tickets to something, it's a little easier, right? Can you squeeze me in, right? So anyways, all right, having fun. And it's going to be really fun. I promise I'll be in and out before you know it. There's a couple of times in here where it says, I'll be in and out before you know it, right? I'll be in and out before you know it. So that makes it easy, quick, fun, no big deal. What is the 4th point of the phone? What is the 4th point? It's the FU, right? We end, this is very important. We always end on a Miss Jones, thank you so much. This really means a lot to me. Hey guys, look at the screen, look at the screen, look at the screen. You guys ready? I'm scrolling down to the acquaintance phone approach again, which is after this Jedi Master how to handle objections. But down here is the acquaintance phone approach. By the way, it's the same 4 parts. What are the 4 parts? Build rapport. How do you know each other? How are you connected? I don't know if you got my, my name rings a bell, but I went to school with your son. That's the rapport. Then you ask for the appointment, right? She says, blah, 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 and you handle it with the objections. And then what's the 4th part? It's the firm up. And thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to me. Can I grab your email address? I can send you confirmation. Great. And hey, I have it down for tomorrow at 3:30, right? Okay, good. You got that down. Great. I really look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much. This really means a lot to me. Over thanking them. FU, FU, FU. Firm up, firm up, firm up. The more you have them firm, why would you set a demo if you're not going to do the demo? How freaking lame is that to go through all the stress and emotional, oh, I hate phone calls, make the phone call and then not firm it up and have them ditch you. Raise your hand if you've been ditched. Every one of us has been ditched. And it's probably, I would say 50 to 80% of the time, it's because you didn't firm it up enough. You're like, okay, thank you so much. Bye. All right, bye. Thank you. Oh, whoo. And you could do that with your aunt and your mom. And it almost went well, although they ditched you half the time too. But for some reason, you're like, oh, it's okay because it was my aunt and she has an excuse. Well, what's all the other customers' excuse? Same excuse for your aunt. You didn't firm it up because you had bad habits because it was your aunt. You don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to firm it up with my aunt because that would be rude. No. It's convenient to firm it up because then when she ditches you, you got to call her back and be that pest and be like, oh, you ditched me. Remember me? I'm the annoying Cutco person. That's what your thought process is. You're not annoying, but you're like, oh man, I keep bothering her. No, she forgot. Why? Because you didn't do your job right. Right? F you. That sounded mean, but firm up, right? Firm it up. It's on every phone call. Even if you get down here to referrals. It's my least favorite phone approach because it's way easier to get appointments with people that are knowing you, that know you and they're connected to you, right? Thank you so much. This really helps me out. I really appreciate your time. Could you grab a pen and paper? Okay, again, my name is P-H-I-L. I don't care if your name is Bob, B-O-B. You spell B-O-B. If you spell B-O-B to the customer, they're going to feel so guilty not writing B-O-B. Okay, it's like the baseball movie, right? If you build it, they will come, right? If you spell it, they will write it. I don't care if your name is Bob, Robert, you would spell B-O-B or Jenny or whatever your name is. You spell it out loud because they will write it if you spell it. Okay. And our appointment is for now. Notice you do that more with people that you've been referred to, right? Because they don't know you as much. And could you draw a smiley face next to my name? That way you'll recognize me. And they're like, oh my gosh, that is so cheesy. And I love it. It's so cheesy. I need a cheese knife to cut it. Okay. So just so you know, I got the appointments tomorrow back to back, and I'm really working hard to hit my goal. Holy cow. There is no way if you say that they're ditching you. Right. This really helps me win my scholarship. Thank you so much. Helps me a ton. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 2:30. All right. So those 4 parts, I can't stress enough that it's a simple process, but remember that emotion, the tone of voice behind your words. This really, really helps me out. Thank you so much. It's easy, quick, fun, no big deal. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Harrison. Totally bringing your goal into the conversation multiple times. Right. I love this. This is great. Okay. Good stuff. All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, you guys are putting in lots of stuff in the chat. Hey, quick, I got a minute, maybe 2 for a question. Anybody have a question? Anybody?
How do you deal with reschedules on your end? Because like you just spent all the time firming up, and then I don't know, something happens and you're like sick and unable to do the demo, or you got hurt or whatever. I know it's virtual.
Yeah. So the answer is work out more, eat healthy, and don't get sick. Okay. In all seriousness, get sleep, eat well, work out, you won't get sick. Something happens. They're not devastated. I'll tell you one time something happens because sometimes you double schedule appointments. When you're really working hard as a rep, you'll have too many appointments and one demo will go long and you have to reschedule. When you talk to that customer and you tell them you have to reschedule, you reschedule on the spot. Oh, something came up. They're not gonna be like, oh my gosh, I have to walk the planet more with crappy knives. Oh my gosh, I can't believe. They're not going to be devastated missing a demo, right? So when you have to reschedule, you reschedule right there on the spot. You never call them back to reschedule.
You could even push it as a more building more
Urgency.
rep, because I have to reschedule because I'm so busy
Yeah,
with all
totally.
my demos I make.
Right. The more like that it is, they're like, dude, everyone must be buying from you. Right. Yeah. Good point, Harrison. Hey, you guys are awesome for being on Champs Club. I really appreciate you all. And thanks. Let me see what you put here, Amanda. I'll go quick. How do I reschedule for callbacks? That's my point. So if you call somebody more than 3x, you guys hear me on this? If you call them on Tuesday, they say, call me later, and you have to do a call back. You call them back, they don't answer. You call them back another day or the next morning. One thing you can do to call back someone that you have to call back is call back at different times. Don't call the same time every day, because obviously they're not available at 8 o'clock every morning or 8 o'clock every night. Try to call them at 2 p.m. Try to call them at 10 a.m. Try to call them at weird times, right? But the second or last thing I'm going to say is if you're calling people 2, 3, 4 times, they don't answer, you got to send them a text. Be like, hey, I'm not trying to bother you, but this goal is important to me. Do you have a second to talk? When would be a good time for us to talk real quick? And you text them. And then you just keep working on never having to do callbacks because you handle objections the right way. Okay. So that's the answer, right? I wouldn't say be flexible, Amanda. I would say if you call them 4 times and they're not answering, that means they know you're calling them. 435-268, your phone number. They're like, oh, it's Amanda. Oh, it's Amanda. Oh, it's that Cutco girl. Then they feel guilty and they're not hating you. They don't screen you because they hate you. They're screening you because they're busy, and I expect them to be busy. So you say, hey, I know you're text. I know you're busy and I'm not trying to nag you, but can I give you a call and find a time where I promise this will be worth your time, or I promise I'll make it worth your time. I promise we'll have fun. Can I give you a call in 2 minutes? Do you have a second to talk, right? And ask their permission to call them right now or whatever, okay? All right, guys. Hey, thank you all again for being here. Day one of the summer, today, campaign 2, right? Salt Lake City, #1 in the nation currently. We'll see where it winds up, whether times the orders go through this week. And Southern Rockies is #4 in the company right now. We'll see where that ends this Friday for campaign 1, but 35 weeks left of the year. Exactly today is the first day of the summer campaign. 35 more weeks of the year. We're going for a silver cup. Everybody's important. Let's crush it on the phone. Okay, guys? Thank you once